Good morning. Thank you, Philip, so much. I promised you 6 years ago 2 things. Pushed me to promise. One, that I will return back, and second, that I will improve my English. So I did one. I didn't do, I'm sorry to say, but I'm still in the same level. Thank you, all of you, all the people who organized this conference. It's an unusual conference, believe me. My experience from 6 years ago took me strongly to understand not just the needs of the people in the diaspora, the Jewish people, the teachers, the gathering, but also to understand us in Israel, about chinuch, about education, about how you touch kids and how you try to bring them not to your own world, but to their own world. And it's making a big difference. So I will not mention the whole names who organized, you know them, but especially to Michael, who need to read my Hebrew emails to understand my willing in this conference. And very special thanks to Jeanette, who is like, I told her, like a Yiddish mame. She controlled everything for us. Thank you so much. I spent last Friday and Shabbat in Sydney. And Friday I went to Moriah. Not sure if the Moriah people are already here. So I went around the classes. I had the Tfilah Shlema program, and then kindergarten. Always I try to go to the kids, the kindergarten, because this is the real place that we should be. And I looked to the class of the באמת sweet kids in the kindergarten in Moriah. And then suddenly about 30 boys, girls, and I looked, and then I asked myself, how many of them, I'm a bit shocked with myself, how many of them will have grandchildren in our club? I had the privilege to become a grandfather in the last year. Thank you. And my mind takes me to that point, to the question about moving from generation to generation. And when I look to this group in Sydney, in Moriah, so we know the facts. We know we can play with the numbers about how many % we missed over the years. But I am not talking about numbers. I'm talking about faces. I'm talking about souls, about these kids. Each one is a whole world. And I want to share with you my feelings about this question by taking you to a tour now. Like a private album, private pictures from my memories. And by that, I want to explain my feelings about this question, about keeping our kids in our club. But to start this journey, I need to ask a first question, just to be sure that we are in the same world. How many here didn't see the movie, the best movie from Walt Disney World, The Lion King? How many didn't see? So go and do homework, please. And Baruch Hashem, so I understand that we are in the same group, the same world. And you remember the situation. Now, you shouldn't laugh, but go with me to the situation that Simba decided to continue his life without any memory, without return back. The key word was Hakuna Matata, thank you. Hakuna Matata is a key word, especially in the East world, that mean we are not looking back. And we'll stay like that. Hakuna Matata mean don't take care, no worry about. אין מקום לדאגה. But the more important version of Hakuna Matata is תשים את העבר מאחוריך. Put the past on your back. Behind you, think. Here I improve my English. Okay. תשים, now you will improve your Hebrew. בסדר? תשים את העבר מאחוריך. Then the situation of the we should call the destruction of the place, the Sukkah Tikva Tova, the place that they used to live. And then Nala came. Remember, Nala came and asked him to return back home. And he said to her, I'm sorry, Hakuna Matata. And he refused. And then she pushed him, and he refused. And then the monkey came. His name is Rafiki. And I saw it many times. and then Rafiki came and took him down to the river. And then he asked him, look to the water. Look inside the water. Do you see something? No, you see nothing. Look further. Look closer. And then suddenly, this is Walt Disney World, immediately you see the water like a mirror. And then from Mamash, from the face of Simba, you saw Mufasa faces. You saw Mufasa, his father, who said to him, Simba, where are you? Where are you? And for everyone understand, but this is the real moment that the movie changed. That Simba will return back and will survive, will help, will win, will change his own life and his whole tribe life. I think that this moment of this movie is interpretation of the story of Joseph in Egypt, from Sefer Bereshit, from the first part of the Bible. When Joseph left his home, his father, when his brother hated him so much and threw him, and then he found himself young man, 17 years old, in Egypt. And I want to tell you that he said Hakuna Matata. Now seriously. He said he believed that his past is over. He put it behind him. And he said, I need to start my own life as a young man in Egypt with different culture, different language, without keeping my eyes back, just go from now to the future. And he started doing that, and he looked well, and he did well, and the wife of Potiphar saw that, and she tried to take him. And the situation, as I believe you all know quite well, she found herself alone at home, and then she asked him, she took him by hand to her room, and the Torah said very dry words. We can fill it with colors. It's a real drama. But we understand that Yosef accepted. He went with her. I don't know until what point, but he went with her. And suddenly, the Torah with so minimum words. The Torah stopped and said that he jumped, he left, and his shirt left with her. So you understand that they didn't say Tehillim in those moments. Sages, strong eyes and I think imagination, said to us, we want to touch this moment that he ran away. What's happened there? And they brought a story, Midrash, and Rashi gave that in Sefer Bereshit. One line, this Midrash. But Rashi and the Midrash says that when they start doing what they do, suddenly he saw, maybe in the window, maybe somewhere else, the image of his father. Now, it's not the right moment to see the face of your father. דמות דיוקנו של אבא נראתה לו. He saw the image, the face of his father in the window. And his father asked him, Yosef, where are you? And this is the moment that he ran away. He left her with his shirt, and then he became a slave. He gave everything. And he identified himself, Ivri Anochi. I am from a different background. And I believe that this is our story. Do we have the face of late father? Do we know where we came from? We will have, when we will be in a situations uncomfortable, when our kids, grandchildren, students will sit in the university with all people around them, and they will find a way to be a regular people in the world, open world, liberal world. What will make them look to the window and say, Abba, I see your face? May I share with you a short story from my picture book from 1945, April, just 1 week before the end of the war in Buchenwald. I will not give you the whole story of my father, a hero person, but he took control as a patron to his very young brother, 11 years between them. My father was 18, this young boy was 7. My father put him in Buchenwald, the place with the Russian prisoners. And in the end, the Germans took them, the Jews, took them by train. They didn't finish the final solution yet. And my father told to his brother that he need to keep himself, he should be a Jew, and he should remember that he have home. The home is Eretz Israel. He couldn't say in 45 Medinat Israel, but he said Eretz Israel. And then he left. But after day and night, he jumped from the train. He was very, very ill in those times, and returned walking back to Buchenwald. It's a long story, I do it just, I want to focus the correct moment. After day and night, and another day, another night, morning came, it was freezing outside Germany, April, and my father found himself on the field without any koach to continue. He just stayed like that, stood and said, I'm waiting. No koach to continue. He knew that it's the end. You know, when you look in your car and see that the gas is empty, it was empty. Empty at all. So he was like, you know, between death and life. And suddenly he heard the voice of his mother. She took from him a year and a half before to another camp. And he heard her voice said to him, Tulek. My father's name is Naftali. In Polish they say Tulek. Tulek? Where is Lulek? Lulek, the Israel, the Polish name of my uncle. Tulek, where is Lulek? You promised to protect him. And I heard this story a few times from my father, and I still not sure what's happened there. But he wake up and start walking the whole way. Day later, afternoon, he found himself in the gate of Buchenwald. It was just about 12 hours before the Americans came to the camp. And then he collected brother. Dmut diyokna shel ima. He saw the image, the face of his mother. That's what's making. I will continue with my picture book. Something much less dramatic. 35 years ago, a young boy, 16 years old, in yeshiva in Yerushalayim, a regular chutzpahdik Israeli boy. But this boy believed that you want to be dati, that you want to be maybe a rabbi, he thought about important things. And in October or November was Shabbat Parashat Lech Lecha. That was his bar mitzvah Shabbat, but 2 years later, 15 years old, or 16, maybe 3 years later. And he asked the Gabbai in his high school, in the yeshiva, to read the Torah in Monday. You know, we have short Kriyah in Monday and Thursday. So it was his own bar mitzvah, Shabbat. He thought that he knew it quite well. So he asked to have the zchut of reading the Torah publicly in the yeshiva. And he did that. And 8:30, after breakfast, they went inside the class, yeshiva, Talmud class. And the rabbi, very young rabbi, came inside the class and started criticize, but say it in past. Yalla beseder. Beseder? You understand me? Beseder. So he started criticizing him and, you know, fix it's like a grammar lesson. All the nudnikim, you know, all the pasuk here, vav here, shvana, shvanach, shvamer, you know, you can't learn that. Even if you are really Israeli, you cannot understand these terrible lessons. I apologize to the whole grammar teachers here. And he fixed him and fixed him. It took, in the eyes of this young boy, it took hours. And it was busha. And this young boy, in the same moment, made a decision. The decision was, I will never have contact with this rabbi. And the second decision was, if this rabbi identified the Torah, I will never have kesher with the Torah also. I will close myself from this world, because this world makes people shame. And this young boy, for a whole year, didn't wear tefillin in the yeshiva. Without brachot, without filot, without anything. In the yeshiva. So they didn't know what to do, because his father was quite a famous person, and they didn't want to, throw him from the yeshiva. The regular school. In the summer, in Israel, August, this young boy was a madrich in Bnei Akiva, but he felt that according to the values of Bnei Akiva, he cannot be madrich anymore, because he is not dati anymore. So we went to the head, Rosh Sliva, in his place. He went to the Rosh and said, I need to cancel my place because I'm not a role model to my chanichim anymore. I'm not role model. So the young girl who ran the Sviva didn't understand exactly. They said, okay, she accepted. And then he went from the building of Bnei Akiva. In the stairs, he met another rabbi who came to give shiurim in Bnei Akiva, young rabbi. And this rabbi, a Hasidic rabbi in Bnei Brak, I think that he has nothing to do with Zionut. But this rabbi saw him and say, should I say, Benny, ma kore? Okay, what's happened? So I said, I become free. I give up the hadracha. And say, why? And I said, I'm not role model. Why? And I explained him. So I said, would you be kind enough and have 5 minutes with me? I want to talk with you. It was evening, August. And we went outside the yard of Bnei Akiva and spent about 6 hours. I didn't say a word. I just listened to his voice telling me stories about my grandfather. He didn't speak about Torah. He didn't speak about mitzvot. He didn't speak about halacha. He just gave me the image of my grandfather. And that's changed my life. I returned back. I can keep you here for hours to give you stories how I use this shita by keeping our kids in their own place, with their own story. Each one have his own story. May I give 2 short stories just to explain how I use this system, my self feelings of keeping our kids inside. When I became a rabbi in a high school in Yerushalayim, Himmelfarb High School, the head teacher had a shita. When he found himself in a very difficult situation with one of the students, so one step before throwing him from school, he sent it to me. That was the shita. So, it happened so that I was quite busy. Himmelfarb is a huge school with boys, about 700 boys, with all the... okay. So one day I found myself with a young boy at the end of the day, and he came with a face of punishment, you know, I need to talk with you. You know, the head teacher said that I need to talk with you. Okay, what is your name? Yaakov. Okay, Yaakov. Where from? So he looked at me and said, Yerushalayim. Of course, Yerushalayim. Where? Say, okay, he said the name of the neighborhood. He said, I meant where you came from. So, oh, well, my parents moved from one neighborhood to other neighborhood. I said, I meant when they came from. He was so angry because I missed his time. Now, you should tell me, I said to him, where your parents came from. I will not let you go before that. He can kill me in this moment. I don't know. I know that my father came from Iraq. My grandfather came from Iraq. My father grew here in Israel, was born here. My mother was born here, came from Morocco. I know nothing. Okay, so I told Yaakov that the condition to return back tomorrow to school is if he will give me 1 page of his roots, his grandparents' roots. This is the homework that what he can do. He took the homework and went home. The day in Himmelfarb started 7:30. I came 7:15, he waited. Not with a page, with a small book. He came and said, Rav, I want to talk with you. Of course, you need to talk with me, you need to give me homework. No, it's not the homework. My great-grandfather, my father-grandfather, was the Gabbai in Baghdad of the Ben Ish Chai. The Ben Ish, if you say to the people from East that you related to Ben Ish Chai, it's like related to, I don't know, the close relation is to Rambam or Moshe Rabbeinu. Ben Ish Chai was the head leader, spiritual leader in the East in the end of 19th century, beginning of the 20th century. And his great-grandfather was the Gabbai of Ben Ish Chai, and his great-grandfather gave his father, meaning his grandchildren, he gave him Siddur that he got by hand, signed by the Ben Ish Chai. And his father was what we called in Israel Chiloni. Chiloni, I will say in a minute that we have no Chilonim at all, but he called himself Chiloni. But at home, he keep the Siddur, the prayer book, signed by Ben Ish Chai. And Yaakov, if you know the name of Ben Ish Chai, Rabbi Yosef Chaim, Yaakov said, my father's name is Yosef Chaim, named after him. And then I had Chavruta for 1 year. Chavruta means 1 hour a day that I spent with this Yaakov. It was 10 years ago. Few weeks ago, a young boy or young adult came to Ramban with the whole uniform of Haredi, with the hat, with black suit, this big smile, and say, I'm Yaakov. So I said, but you should remember, you came from Himmelfarb. You didn't grow up in different worlds. You are us. And the last story before concludes. Just the day before I came here, a man about 40 years old came to my shul immediately after the morning service, regular day, came and asked me if he can spend a few minutes with me. of course. So he started identifying himself. Said to me, you don't know me? I saw you in the program in the TV, and I want to spend a few minutes with you about my own problem. Never mind. But you should know, I came from Tel Aviv, I live in Yerushalayim. I came from Tel Aviv, and I am a real secular. This was the declaration. I am a real secular. Wow, my privilege. Mean what? He said, a real secular. I want to say that I grew up with the two sides, my father and my mother, who came from no Yiddishkeit at all. No Jewish studies, no Bible at home, no bar mitzvah, nothing at all. They just closed the door from the Jewish studies and the Jewish tradition. And we are Israelis. Israelis from the central of Tel Aviv without Yahadut. Wow. I asked him, do you sure that you have nothing? Can you tell me something about your Shabbat at home? Not your own Shabbat because he married, but your family Shabbat. So he said it's a regular day. Friday night I asked him, you have a meal, special meal? Yes, we have such a special meal, but you know, we sit and talk, and it's a regular day. And then I don't know why I asked him, your mother put a map on the table Friday night? I just came for vacation, so I thought about map. Mapa. Now we are in the Hebrews. Philip, you will not invite me anymore. Okay. Mapat shulchan. Okay? Shabbos mapa. So I asked him, Ima sama mapa? Friday night. So he said, you know what? I think she do. I think she do. So I asked him, it was 7:30, 7:45 in the morning. I asked him, can you ask her? So, you know, thanks God we have mobiles. So he phoned her, Ima, תגידי. שמה מפה על השולחן, you cover the table on Friday night? So she said, why do you ask? He didn't know what to answer. So I mean, with the rabbi and he asked. And then I saw that his faces changed. His face became changed. Something happened. It's a true story. Honestly, believe me. And I didn't hear what she said to him. It took too long. And then mamash, something happened in his face. He was shocked. When he finished speaking with his mother, he said to me, I don't know why you asked this question before. She just tell me now that she got this mapa. She got it from her grandmother. Her grandmother was the one who decided to close the door of the whole Jewish background. She was in the Holocaust, the grandmother, and she don't want any connection with Jewish life anymore. She made a decision. She became a Shomer Tzair, very strong person. She's now 90, the grandmother, 95. Shomer Tzair member, kibbutz. And when her mother became married, when her child, her daughter, his mother, became married, the mother, the grandmother, gave his mother, her daughter, a present to the wedding, Mapat Shulchan. And she said to her, we are not in this business anymore. We are not light candles, not Kiddush. We have no Shabbat in our family. But please, use this for Friday night meals. And I did it for all my life. But I didn't tell you that. And what I want to say that if we have mazal, lucky, and we find the way how to open the land, the Adama, not the land, the earth, to open the place of the person. Everyone, each one of us, have his own story. Never mind if you are secular, Dati, ultra-Orthodox, Reform, Reconstruction, wherever you are. Never mind, in Australia you don't have reconstructions. But we are different. We are different, and we, be'emet, we know that everyone needs to respect the choice of the other, and we are respect. This is the reason of this gathering, because we respect the differences, but we know that each one of us has his own very inside, intimate story. And we will find, if we have the mazal, the bracha, of find the key to open these gates, then the face of the generation before will be the whole way with our children and grandchildren for many, many years. I think that the story about Medinat Israel, about keeping kesher with the Zionists, it's exactly the same. Sometimes we are talking about what we see. We are talking about the tree. We are talking about the leaves, the branches. But it's wrong. We should go deeper. We should go to the roots. And if one level of the roots is alive, so the tree will exist. This is true. I was a gardener when I was a student. Don't believe when you see a broken branches and when you see tree like a died tree. Don't believe. Look deeper to the roots and look if you see something green there. If you see a live root, you can survive the whole tree. And this is our tafkid, because there are kids that the parents will take care of. Many, many kids, maybe too many kids, needs us, the teacher, the people who work in schools, formal, informal. They need us to find the key, to open the gates, to survive the connection between the generation and keep our Be'ezrat Hashem coming generations with us. Thank you very much.